Hello everyone and welcome to another SuncatByte. In today's SuncatByte we are going to talk about switch statements. Switch statements are going to be the cousin of if-else statements or if-else-if else statements. So the switch statement provides an alternative method, an alternative to if statements, like I just said, for doing a series of condition checks and statement executions. One of the key things about switch statements is they are built for checking the value of an integer or a character. So you have to use integer or character variables with these. If you want to use strings, then you're going to have to use if statements for that. Okay, so integers or characters, not other variable types. Okay, very important. The general format of a switch statement is as follows. Actually, let's go and do it in bold. You have switch, then you have the switch, then you have the variable that you're looking at. If you open curly brace, you have a case statement, and you have a value that you're checking. Then you have some statements that are you're executing. Then you have this break statement. Very important that you have the break statement. Then you have case value 2. Some other statements that you're executing. Again, must have that break. Then you're going to have a, then you're going to have a default. Then you're going to have some more statements here, and then you're going to have your closing curly brace. So if this variable matches this value, you're going to execute these. If this variable matches this value, you're going to execute these. This is going to be what's going to happen if you don't match any of the values. It's your default. It's akin to the else statement, not Santa Claus. The else statement in the if-else statements. Okay, so value of the variable is examined, and then it is checked. We check to see if it matches this case. If it does, then it executes. If we see a break statement, what the break statement does is it causes us to go directly to the curly brace here. So if we match this value, we execute this, then we get the break statement, we go directly to these curly braces. You can also here, in this case, you can check more than one value, and we'll see an example of this shortly when we look at an example in Visual Studio. If you leave this break statement out, then you're actually going to keep executing. So if we leave this break statement out here, we're going to keep executing code, so we're going to keep executing on down the line here. So the break statement is very important in every case statement. And if you have multiple values here, also keep in mind those values do not need to be a sequence of integers. So they can be basically anything, okay? So let's look at another example. I'll do it this way so we can have it up at the top. So say we have something like this. Switch year. Year is going to be a variable. It's going to be an integer because these are integers here. So we check for a famous year. We say case 1920. So if the year is 1920, women were allowed to vote. Then we get our break statement. So if year had a value of 1920, we would execute that. Declaration of Independence. If year had a value of 1776, Declaration of Independence was drafted. 1969. Neil Armstrong walked on the moon. If it didn't meet any of these, then we would get, oh, not sure what happened in your year. And actually, you would want that to look like this year. Oh, I see what we're doing. Really, you would want it to look like that. But anyway, that's how the switch statement's going to look. And that's how they work. It's alternative to having an if-else statement, right? You could say if year equals 1920 or equal 1920, then it would be this. Else if year equal 1776, this. Else if year equal 1969, then this. Else what you have with your default. So let's look at another example here. So we have this program, which is program 3.5, which is your fruit chars with the switch. And basically it's just going to characters. It's a program that's going to take the character input for someone's favorite fruit, and then it's going to look at a switch statement to basically guess what the fruit is. So we have pound include IOStream. We should include the string library as well, right? Because we have the strings here. And then we have this fruit. It's a string. And we say, I'm going to try and guess your favorite fruit. Please enter the letter. So you have char, first letter, cin, first letter. So we're going to go ahead and get the letter from the user. Then we say switch first letter. So here's how we do multiple. We can say case A, and we can put a colon, lowercase a here. Or we can say case, uppercase A. So that's how we have multiple values. Then we say, is it an apple? If we add an A. B, is it a banana? C, it's a cantaloupe. So if we get any of those, then you say, then you guess the fruit. If not, you say, I can't guess your favorite fruit. So let's go ahead and build this. And so if I'm going to put a lowercase b in, we expect it to say, is it a banana? Compile. Start without debugging. There's our lowercase b. Is it a banana? So just like we expected. Now, what if I took this break statement out? What would we expect to see? So remember, if you take the break statement out, it's going to execute until it sees another break statement. So we're actually going to get, is it a banana and is it a cantaloupe? So that was built. Start without debugging. Same input of a B. Is it a banana? Is it a cantaloupe? We didn't have that break statement to tell us to go here to the closing curly brace. So it gave us that output as well. So is it a banana? Is it a cantaloupe? We took this other break statement out. We're going to execute that default as well. So let's take a look at that. Start without debugging. Lowercase b again. We get, is it a banana? Is it a cantaloupe? I can't guess your favorite fruit. So again, we come in here, it matches this lowercase b case statement. We have, is it a banana? But then there's no break, so we get, is it a cantaloupe? Still no break. I can't guess your favorite fruit. With this code here, if I would have put an A in, I'll only get, is it an apple? Because I have a break statement. So go ahead and build this. Oh, we don't have to build it, it was already built. Run it again. This time I'm going to put an A in, and I only get, is it an apple? So go ahead and play around with this. Take it, do like I did here to make sure that you really understand how these switch statements work. But they're just an alternative to if statements. And key thing to remember, they work with chars and ints only. If you have any questions, let me know via the discussion board forum, email, or during lab hours. Until then, take care and talk to you soon. Thanks. Bye.